This is WLOX News Now Weekend. Your news starts right now.
We've all been waiting for. Today is officially the start of Cruising the Coast in South Mississippi. Here's a live look at Highway 90 in Biloxi, which is expected to see plenty of extra traffic over the next week. If you've ever wanted to get a bird's eye view of Cruising the Coast, here's what it looked like today. The WLOX drone stopped by cruising events in downtown Gulfport today, along with Gaucher, to bring you this unique perspective on the event. Classic cars packing the street as far as the eye can see, with lots of people out and about getting a first-hand look at all the excitement. And even the threat of bad weather didn't stop thousands of people from all across the country gathering in downtown Gulfport to kick off the week's festivities. Victor Williams was there and has more on what happened.
Beautiful cars.
Good, clean fun, and it's good family fun. Everybody enjoys it. We have a great time.
But pause. That wasn't the case just a few hours prior. Let's rewind.
Today in Gulfport, an event that cruisers don't ever want to miss. The Cruisin' at Hardy Court has always been the big event on the first day of Cruisin' the Coast. Front and center this morning were hundreds of cars spanning the decades, and so were the people who came out to admire them. If seeing thousands of vintage cars rolling along the beach this week can teach you anything, it's that you're never too old to love the classics.
Just to have the opportunity to look inside and feel it and look at and imagine how people drove back then.
To add to the excitement of the day, there was also a feature car. This 1950s Chevy Bel Air will have more coverage of today's Cruising the Coast kickoff in just a minute. But first, let's go to meteorologist Andrew Wilson for a look at the cruising forecast. This year for Cruising the Coast, the city of Gaucher is trying something new, and they got quite the crowd for their 2017 cruising event. Janelle Fort was out there with the cruisers earlier, and she has the details.
It's Gaucher's second year as a Cruising the Coast stop, and this year they're planning to mix things up a bit by hosting this event called Cruising Through the Decades. Hot rods pack the parking lot next. If
you were anywhere near Highway 90 between Bay St. Louis and downtown Gulfport this afternoon, you might have noticed the road wasn't just overrun with classic cruisers, but Jeeps too. Over 400 Jeep lovers from across the country came out for Jeeping the Coast Topless. What started off 5 years ago as just a t-shirt drive for breast cancer awareness has grown into a huge charity event to kick off the month of October.
It is just unbelievable. I mean, I literally just stand in awe when I look around and I see so many people that, you know what?
Moran says she would like to see Jeeping the Coast turn into its own event, just like Cruising the Coast. And car enthusiasts at Cruising the Coast this year were graced with the presence of a popular car magazine. Street Rodder magazine had an exclusive spot today in downtown Gulfport. The magazine does about 10 road trips throughout the year. This year, the magazine came through South Mississippi, giving everyone a chance to look at many of the cars featured in the magazine. Those who were on the tour say it's a great way to view many of the classic car communities all over the state.
We're based out of a hotel in Biloxi, and we travel back and forth up and down the coast. Other ones might go from, say, Charlotte, North Carolina to Ocean City, Maryland. Or they might
and some riders who were in town only because of the tour say they'll be back in Biloxi before you know it, because they just love the city. And if you missed today's fun, Cruising the Coast activities will be taking place all this week until October 8th. You can find a complete schedule of events listed on our WLOX News app or on GulfCoastWeekend.com. And this morning's gusty winds proved too much for one-man sailboat to handle in Gulfport. Find out what caused the boat to sink to the bottom of the Mississippi Sound. And for the first time in nearly a decade, O.J. Simpson is a free man tonight. Details of his late-night release from prison next.